Welcome to week 1 of the NFL preseason, where the rookies of today hope to become the stars of tomorrow. It's the Bills and the reigning Super Bowl champs, and it's coming up next.
Downtown between Brush Street and I-375. That's where we're located in the heart of Detroit at Ford Field, which first opened back in 2002. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Buffalo Bills. Charles Davis alongside me, and I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, folks, the wait is over. Yes, it's just the preseason, but football is back in your living room.
And I'm excited. I know you are as well. The summer heat feels good on these old bones, especially because we're not putting on pads. We don't have to be out there in that heat running into other people. But I'm glad these guys are. Football is back.
The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From the 6. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Out comes the offense for the Bills, led by their quarterback at 6'5". That's Josh Allen.
And in this league, there are many quarterbacks who have their most success running the ball, while there are others who have big arms. There aren't too many guys who can do both. And at the end of many games, this guy leads his team not just in passing, but in rushing as well.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. That's caught by his tight end, Dawson Knox. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
And he's going to have a Bills first down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on first down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To the air, Allen. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. His big Trey Flowers getting in there that time for the sack.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. Now Allen. Being chased out left. Room to run past midfield. And he'll hit the deck, but he did not get there. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down. And here's Hunter Nicewander down. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within 1 quarter of winning it. But since that time, He's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. But one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front and linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big play that time through the air. 32 yards.
You ask tight ends about their favorite routes to run, and surprisingly, this will pop up as one of their staples because they run so many routes in the middle of the field. How about this one? Starts downfield, bends it to the corner, great touch on the football, and they turn that one into a big play.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
42 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. DeAndre Swift, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Extra point by Seibert up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So the drive there took 6 plays. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Jeff Okudah up from his quarterback spot to make the play.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Levi Onwuzurike just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. After 7-0 on EA Sports. The Bills with the football as we start quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Now the first throw for the backup quarterback. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first two drives. It looks like they have to give up the football again after this one.
Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That's taken it around the 40. So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
The first carry now for the BYU man. It's Jamal Williams. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Williams going to get it again on second down. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Williams is going to have the first down and a little more. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line.
Partner, in our years together, we've never really run into a player that's admitted a doubt or a lack of confidence, right? But right now, I'm just wondering about that interior line, because on defense, they're starting to get manhandled at the point of attack. Do they have it in them to figure a way to reverse the tide? Because right now, they're running the ball at will.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. 41 yards on the ground for him so far.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. On second down, Williams. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. From the gun, Boyle. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
Seibert's kick is good, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Buffalo set to get the football back here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Definitely the last thing you want to see here in a preseason game. We'll be right back. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll run a draw now with Moss. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth. Yes, he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
The screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be fourth down. The Bills send the punter out as he's on to kick it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Pulled in at the 24. Call it an even 40-yard punt. 7, though, on the return, and the Lions will take over. Jamal Williams making his way back onto the field. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On fourth down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Bills going to take over now late in this first half. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. Now Rush. They'll run the screen with Moss. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. A completion, yes, but certainly not what they wanted. A loss of a full 6 yards.
Well, his completion percentage continues to rise with that one, but sometimes you want your completion percentage to go down. Maybe you should have thought about throwing that one away.
I was just going to say, it is easier said than done, but that's where you maybe bury it at his feet, make sure he doesn't catch it.
Great call right there. Put it near the receiver, no grounding, nothing like that, but no one gets a chance to pick it off either.
So we have reached halftime in our first preseason matchup of the year. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. Back to you guys in just a minute as we've started the countdown to opening night. Remember, the preseason has shrunk from 4 games down to 3. So just 2 more weeks of preseason action follow this, and then we get it all started on the first Thursday after Labor Day. And meanwhile, for the Lions, they had a little bit more success on the ground than their opponents did, and that just set them up well for the second half to come. Most of the starters are likely done. These coaching staffs getting ready to evaluate the youngsters in the second half. And to call the remainder of this preseason opener, we go back to Brandon Gaud.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Probably not likely to see many starters in the second half as we get back at it underway in this preseason opener. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And the Lions getting set to go on offense to start the third. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
66 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they're leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
Williams. And he'll take it across midfield and into Buffalo territory. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On first down, Williams. And he's got some space here. And down inside the 15 he goes.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. At the 9-yard line. Williams. Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Williams is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me, and they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter. Not
only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely, you also drain clock too with a drive like that, so you really give yourself an advantage.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So this drive spans 7 plays. And it was Jamal Williams who ended things with a touchdown run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Antoine Woods coming right up the gut. Gets in there for a loss of 9. I think that time he just maybe held on to it a little too long, CD, because after a couple of seconds in this league, you know those defenders are coming.
And how many times do we talk about complementary football? We usually talk about, does the offense help the defense? Does the defense help the offense? I think in this case, does the quarterback help out his offensive line? You only have a certain amount of time to get rid of the football. They can only do so much. On this play, he took them to the limits.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Back to throw, Rush. Looking deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. The Bills send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
127 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. 4 yards remain for second down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
He continues to have a big night here under the lights carrying the football.
And some guys prefer night games. For whatever reason, their bodies react a certain way. They love the spotlight. Maybe that's what it is. The best seats in the house, the ones where he's carrying the football for his offensive teammates. The worst seats, the 11 guys trying to tackle him on defense.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. The busy night continues for Williams. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Definitely the last thing you want to see here in a preseason game. We'll be right back. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamal Williams ready for the regular season with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the lead is now 24. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was Jamal Williams who ended things with a touchdown run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. You're watching preseason football on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. From the 29, rush. And that's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together.
Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off at the 39.
Well, offensively, Charles, hard to put a silver lining on this one. No secret that they had to take chances with a score where it is, and it leads to a turnover.
I love how you paint the picture, partner, because you're exactly right about that one. Look at the empty stares on that sideline. This is one of those games we just want to go crawl under a rock until it's over.
The Lions offense set to take over. They lead big. Quite the kickoff, really, to this exhibition schedule as they start once more with a 1st and 10.
They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Definitely the last thing you want to see here in a preseason game. We'll be right back.
2nd down at 5.
They run it again with Williams. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge. Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot has been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. They'll run on 1st down. It's Williams. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Well, speed is definitely a calling card if you play cornerback in this league, and he does a terrific job there of hustling in quickly to make the play.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
I'm not sure what other ground there is to cover here. I mean, this offense has been amazing. Just total domination, Charles.
They've clicked so well, and if you really focus in on the offensive line, they've protected well when they wanted to throw the ball. They've moved people off the line of scrimmage when they wanted to run it. Smiles all the way around. This offense has been really good in this one.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and that will extend this big lead. So that drive in total 8 plays.
And it was Jamal Williams who ended things with a touchdown run.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
From the 6. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Buffalo offense back out ready to go. And certainly this, not the performance that they were hoping for to begin the exhibition season, but still plenty to watch for in this fourth quarter. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. His throw incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw is Rush. And this throw incomplete. The defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. The Bills on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. He's going to air one out. And unable to connect. Incomplete. And give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to go up top again. And incomplete on the deep ball. The Bills' drive stalls out on 4th down. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. That's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
On 1st down, Williams. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Again, it's Williams. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. They seemingly just continue to score at will. And as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
And I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them. Because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they've faced in this ball game.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Back onto the field now comes the Bills offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Rush. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Rush. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Charles Harris. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Here's Rush to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The Bills send the punter out as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. And Detroit getting set to go now.
It has been a dream start to the preseason thus far as they look to finish things strong in the 4th quarter.
They'll run on 1st down. Williams. He finds some open field here. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is unwrapped.
Well, partner, when a team's up this big, this late in the game, I always wonder what's their motivation, because if it's me, I'm thinking about pulling on the reins a little bit. But for them, I don't think it's in their DNA. It's not in their head coach's makeup at all. I think his opinion is, you stop us. We're not supposed to pull back ourselves.
Seibert on for the PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And able to get this out to the 25. Back now on offense, the Buffalo Bills.
Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing here, Rush. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to...
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play. So it doesn't affect the outcome. Put a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
At least they were running the ball on the final play instead of trying to throw it to rub it in, but they still got in the end zone. I kind of blame that, though, defensively. They were just kind of not even willing to stop them.
Yeah, they had an opportunity, but I think they looked at the scoreboard and said it doesn't matter either way, and that probably affected them on that play, and they ended up giving up one more score.
So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory.